Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we will be reviewing The Young Pope episodes 4 through 8. This will be a recap. And guys, I just want to apologize. My review schedule of The Young Pope has been off. Some of that's been due to how HBO airs The Young Pope, and they do a episode on Sunday and Monday, kind of threw off my review schedule. But not only that, there has to me been a dramatic change in the series of The Young Pope, and I still think it's a good show, guys, but it's just kind of the story of The Young Pope. Episodes 1 through 3 I just thought were awesome. Just dynamic writing. But episodes 4 through 8, they kind of dropped off a bit for me. And I don't think that's... it could just be a taste thing. I know a lot of series sometimes have to have fillers, mid-season fillers until they get to the... the end of the season, and where they have their cliffhangers and various things. But I think, again, it may just be a taste thing. I think what intrigued me the most about the series is, originally I was thinking, I don't know if I'd like a series about just the Vatican, because they've done that before with the Borgias and different series based on popes in the Vatican. And I didn't think it would be for me, but the first 3 episodes of this really changed my mind and went in a direction I thought was brilliant. But episodes 4 through 8 kind of, for me, settled into the politics of the papacy and the Vatican, where they seemingly dealt with a lot of, incidents, with the Vatican, like the investigation they had with the pedophilia, and the constant focus on the homosexuality in the Catholic Church, which understanding the politics of of the Catholic Church, in our real life, we kind of understood all of that. But I was intrigued by the series because of how it just danced around all of these mysteries, like, is he a saint? The mysteries of, is he touched by God, or is he just some scoundrel who's gotten into the papacy? And I really liked that focus and that mystery on that. And then it kind of went away from that. And I don't know, I kind of really dropped off from the series a bit there. But even so, this is still a good show. Is it must watch TV for me? My test for that has been basically, if I just have to watch an episode, then for me that means it's must watch TV. But if it's, I can kind of miss an episode here or there, because it just isn't pulling me in, then it could still be a good show, but may not be just must-watch TV. Now, should this show, I believe, be on your TV schedule? Absolutely. I still think this show, even these last few episodes, have been better than 80% of the TV shows that I watch on TV. But I had it like in my top 5, and I think it's kind of went outside of my top 5 with these last 4 episodes. And I know they're getting a season 2, and maybe they're saving some of the things I like most about the show to continue on for season 2. But anyway, that was my thoughts about why I've been kind of, not jumping into these reviews, like I on The Young Pope. Like I started off, the first 3 episodes I thought were awesome, but episodes 4 through 8, they kind of threw me. But I want to go over just some of the highlights of some of the things that happened throughout episodes 4 and 8. Some of the things I did like through episodes 4 and 8. Give that a little bit of setup, and then I think I'm gonna let the season of this show finish out, and I will be coming back with my thoughts on the season finale, because there are only 2 remaining episodes, and I will do some coverage of episode 9, and then I will finish it off with my thoughts on episode 10. But anyway, I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. One of the stories we had going on was that Esther, the wife of the Swiss guard, who a lot of things happen with Esther throughout throughout these episodes, and first, in episode 4, it was basically she was being used by Cardinal Voiello to frame the Pope, to put him in a compromising situation where it looked like he's done something inappropriate with her because of his fondness for her. They were basically thinking that the Pope was having an inappropriate affair or relationship with her. And so basically, he sets it up, Voiello sets it up to have Pope Pius XIII, or Lenny, to touch her, in an appropriate way, where he has her to take his hand and put it on her body. And he's basically, in a sense, blackmailing her, to do this, to set the Pope up based on the past, her past affairs with his assistant, the priest, as we covered in, episode 3. And, so she's kind of forced to do this thing, even though she doesn't want to. She feels like the Pope is pretty much a saint, like Sister Mary and some of the other priests around and people. But, she does this thing, and they go to take pictures, but, the Pope, almost as if he knows what's going on, or that he's being set up, he gives this very interesting speech about why the reason that, he won't do the things like fall in love, and that he's a priest, a man of God, is because he's a coward to love people. And this somehow touches Cardinal Voiello, makes him feel like he's a real saint. So Cardinal Voiello decides not to use this footage. He actually turns it over, to Sister Mary. And some other important things that happen throughout the series. Voiello does come clean about trying to set the Pope up. And, the Pope really just shows his dominance, his power over Cardinal Voiello, lets him know that not only am I a better priest than you, but I'm a better politician than you, and, basically has Voiello groveling at his feet. And then, we finally get this amazing address to the Cardinals. He finally addresses the Cardinals, as they've all been waiting there, waiting to go home, go out to their various, parts of the world, to head their churches. And it's just this amazing speech about, making the church once again mysterious and accessible. Him basically vanquishing everybody against him by going through the small door he has brought in and saying that they're going to go through that door and into hell. And he knows what this hell is like because it's a hell that he's built for them. And just amazing. Jude Law just gives an amazing performance. And see, those are the parts of the show I wanted them to stay focused around. And the show just kind of goes off. I don't know, over the course of these episodes, it just goes off to a lot of directions that a lot of things I just didn't think weren't necessary. And they felt like a lot of filler. And like it could have went off in too many directions. So then too much, like the fact it did that, but that the Cardinals address was excellent. And then we did get another, throughout the episodes as we moved on from episodes 4 through 6, and we got up around episode 7, which dealt with the death of his foster brother, or I believe his name is pronounced Cardinal Dussolier, or something like that. And we find out this was Lenny's foster brother, who he grew up with, who he was very close with. And, basically he wanted to go back to Honduras because Of course, Lenny's conservative rules are, getting tougher. He wants to create investigations to see a priests are homosexuals and do all various types of tests. And, as addressed earlier by Cardinal Voiello in early episodes, that him trying to stamp out every homosexual priest he believed would cause the whole institution to come crashing down. So I guess it's just, that rampant, in Catholicism. And so a lot of them are against that, and very much so his foster brother. And we find out why his foster brother is very much against that, because in an opening scene with him, he's having these sexual orgies, and he's down in Honduras, and he's engaging in all of these vices, and he's having orgies with men and women, and just very he's very much against that, I imagine, for those reasons. But it just so happens that one of the women he's having sex with down in Honduras happens to be the wife of uh, a large scale drug dealer, like a drug kingpin or narco, the high level, like we talking like Pablo Escobar status. And he gets all in a triangle. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. He gets in this triangle with the wife and this drug kingpin, and the drug kingpin goes, you're a priest, and so on one end, my mind's telling me to not harm you, but on the other end, based on what you've done, it's almost like it's even worse that it's been done by you as a priest. So he ends up killing, the Pope's foster brother, Cardinal Dussolier. Again, I could be saying his name wrong, but the show, of course, the Pope, he takes that really, really, hard, and Sister Mary, and because they've all been so close, growing up, and so we move on like 9 months later throughout the series, and Pope Pius XIII of Lenny finally is convinced, by his staff, by the marketing director, that hey, he should go to take a vacation. He ends up going to Africa. And I can't remember the sister's name, but she's heading up these schools over there and various things. And we come to find out that he's supposed to be going there to praise this sister, but as he's over there and he's in one of his confessionals, he believes it's a priest who speaks English who's listening to his confession. We find out that the priest doesn't speak any English, but he slips him a note letting him know that the sister who he's coming to praise is not who she seems to be. That she's basically they don't have a clean water supply, but she has clean water accessible through her facilities, and she gives it to him, but it comes at a cost, and it comes at a cost of them having to perform sexual perversions for her to get favors and various things like that. So it turns out that this sister is a really, really just evil, person, and the Pope is this is brought to the Pope's attention, and so what the Pope does is, the Pope basically, when he leaves there, then the show goes back to some of those mysterious things I loved about the first 3 episodes, and this is where I wish it would have stayed on track with the series, but basically he's with his entourage as they're heading back home to the Vatican. He just tells them he needs to stop. He just stops in the middle of the road, and he starts to pray. And I mean, he's really, really praying, and he's like saying, God, we have to have a talk about this sister back in Africa. And he's just praying and praying, and when he gets through praying, this sister just falls out dead, like she's been struck down by God. We don't know if it's coincidence or if it's just part of his his abilities or if he's really a saint. And so that's what we get with that. And, those to me were the highlights of episodes 4 through 8. Now, again, those are the things that made me really like this show, all the mystery around it. I think what kind of shut me down a little bit about it was as it dealt with too much a little bit with the politics of the Vatican. And, going into this show, I kind of expected it was going to, deal with a lot of that. And, I didn't know if I was going to really be interested in that. But, I come to find out the way they did it in the first 3 episodes, I thought it was done excellent. It went in a direction. And I love when a lot of it's unpredictable, when the show's unpredictable and I have to guess a bit and I'm surprised by things, and that's how it was in the beginning. But then it just went into these Vatican investigations of pedophilia and homosexuality and just the typical things we hear all the time on the news about the Catholic Church. And it just became like one of those type situations. And kind of made me, it didn't feel like, must see TV anymore. But like I said before, guys, still an awesome show. Still has to be, definitely will remain on my TV lineup. And I think I hope when they go into season 2, that they really push this mystery, these mysteries about the Pope being a saint, and really play on that. I really enjoyed that. I can enjoy that show just based on that part of it, without all of the other filler things that were happening. But we do have 2 more episodes, guys, and maybe these 2 episodes will be go back to how the first 3 were. But guys, if you're still watching the Young Pope, and I hope you enjoyed some of the highlights, at least that I liked on the show. But if you've enjoyed it up to now and you enjoyed all the other things that happened in the fillers, please comment below. Let me know what you thought about it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And care.